Hey ho, it's Marco Cattaneo representing Charles Sturt University with yet another study aid for the subject ITI 597, the subject that covers IT service management. Hey, in this video I would like to discuss the challenges we encounter within demand management. So the challenges we have and we encounter within demand management. Demand and supply. Let's have a look at some examples. Hey, a major power outage hits New York. No more supply. We are unable to deal with like a massive firestorm. The Northwest flight attendants, they vote to go on a strike, so we can't fly our airplanes anymore. Security firms are overwhelmed by a sudden demand for riot protection. Dark storm clouds can cause a sudden increase in lighting demand. And how does the sudden death of a president affect the demand for like a whole bunch of things? So all examples of like demand and supply. Demand and supply. It says here, demand and supply, it's like an economic model based on price, the quality of my goods and or services, and the quantity of my goods and or services in a market. In a fully competitive market, price will function to equalize what? It will function to equalize the quality and quantity that is demanded by like the consumers, but also the quality and quantity supplied by like the producers, resulting in a like nice balance of like price, quality and quantity. In other words, if I can like produce many cars for like many people out there, I can probably like produce quite a cheap car. It will lower the costs. But if I'm asked to like design and produce this like custom built like race machine for just one person, well, that car will become extremely expensive. So it's all about like price, quality and quantity that somehow like sit within this like demand and supply equation. So I was thinking like, you know what, I'll give you a bit of a picture of like what I was trying to say here, okay, like quantity, quality and price. So you've got this like fantastic whooper duper race car and it's like, well, this nice pink car, and the whole thing is like, there's a market for both. I'm not saying like one is better than the other, because it's all based upon like demands and supplies. There will probably be like a lower demand for like cars that cost like 5 million and a higher demand for cars that will cost like $3,000 as the ones they're currently producing in India, and they're going to produce cars that you can buy for like $3,000. Think of like the Volkswagen Beetle. Okay, that's why I've got like the picture of the Beetle here. How well did that car do, and why did it do so well? It's all about like quantity, quality and price. So, what are some of the challenges you encounter in like demand management? Well, of course, like poorly managed demand and supply is a source of risk. If I can't deliver the services I've promised to deliver to my customers because I don't have enough resources in place, well, they may sue me, they may take me to court, and I may have to pay millions and I can close my doors. Of course I can oversize. Of course I can oversize to like deal with like sudden peaks. And I can plan for it, and that's okay. But if I oversize and I don't plan for it, I may be wasting my money. Of course, if I have insufficient capacity, it may cost me money, it may cost me my image, it may cost me my customers, it may cost me my business really. Now the tricky part about like demand and supply like in service management world is like demands and delivery, they're happening like simultaneously. It's like if I produce cars, I can stockpile them to sell them in 6 months from now. But if I think of like a help desk operator that needs to pick up the phone, I can't stockpile like help desk operators. That's not how it works. Can I influence demands? Of course I can influence demands. I can increase price. I can make like I can run marketing events. You name it. I can influence demands. But hey, can I completely control the demand for services? I don't think so. Because if we all decide to pick up the phone at the same time, then whatever like these large companies, these large telephone companies do out there, their infrastructure is very likely to fall over. Okay, so in the end, it's us, the customers, who are really in control. and the producer can try to influence our demands. So what other challenges do we have? I've already told you, consumption and production of services are tightly coupled. They go hand in hand, even more so than just-in-time manufacturing. For example, where components arrive like 3 hours before you actually assemble them together. No, here we're talking about real time. I'm a user, I've got an issue with my PC. Right now, I call IT. And IT, they either pick up the phone or they don't. So it makes sense to be able to adjust the resources and adjust the capabilities with those fluctuating demands. So hopefully I can forecast what's going to happen. Hopefully I can actually identify some patterns in my business so I can properly align my resources and my capabilities. Think of Toys R Us, where I said they will be extremely busy in December. So let's make sure we've got our act together. Hey, some types of capacity can be quickly increased and also released again. Think of, for example, disk space. Yeah, or a license, a license for an application. Yeah, next week you can use the license, but after next week I'll revoke the rights again. So, but unfortunately, if I think of calling the help desk, that's a little bit trickier over there. But for some types of capacity, yes, it is manageable. It is manageable. Chew, Muskie. Practice what you preach. Yeah, of course, it's all about understanding the various challenges you'll encounter within demand management. Think of how dynamic or static your own demands are when it comes to consuming, well, typically IT services. What are your demands if you think of telephony and connectivity services? What about training services? What about maintenance and support services? What about the ability to recycle some of the goodies afterwards? Did your demands change over the last couple of years? Do you have peaks and troughs yourself? Think about that stuff and see if you can add some more examples to the list. Yeah, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. It's time for another sample question. Hey, which one of the following statements is least correct considering the theory of demand and supply? Answer A. Supply and demand is a function of quantity, quality and price. Service demand, answer B, service demand can be fully controlled. Answer C, predicting demands should help reducing risks. And answer D, service consumption and production are real time, and this makes it more of a management challenge. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about the answer, and then as usual we'll move on. Okay, so what's the answer? The answer is absolutely answer B. Service demand can't really be fully controlled. Think of the example, if we all decide worldwide to walk into the same shop, then that shop will have a huge issue. Okay, so yes, you can try to influence, but you will never be able to fully control those demands. What's in the next topic? In the next topic we're going to have a look at activity-based demand management. Activity-based demand management as part of service strategy, or as part of the service strategy volume, I should say. Hey, live long and prosper! Hasta la vista, baby! And as usual, I'll be back.